For the first time, Justine Ruzcek-Damon's voice played in court for the jury to hear. Her two 911 calls that brought officers Mohammed Noor and Matthew Harity to her alley. She reported hearing a possible woman in need of help. "I'm not sure if she's having sex or being raped," Damon says. "I think she just yelled, 'help.'" Justine's voice sounds stressed. She sighs several times while relaying the information to the telecommunicator on the other end. In the courtroom, Justine's fiancé, Don Damon, along with her father and brother from Australia, listen, growing visibly emotional. Justine is told the officers should be there soon. On the second call, she says, "No one's here, and I wonder if they got the address wrong." The call comes just moments before the shooting. The next witness, a BCA agent who took photographs and video of the crime scene. He testifies that there was a street light nearly directly overhead the squad car at the end of the alley, and that fingerprints were found on the squad car. Remember, in opening statements, Prosecutor Patrick Lofton said there was no evidence that Justine slapped the squad. On cross-examination, the defense pointed out that that same investigator admitted that it was dark enough that he wouldn't be able to read a book in that alley. Now, today's testimony included some evidence that was tough to sit through, including autopsy photos. I'll give a recap of the rest of the day's testimony coming up at 6.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Lou.